My milkshakes bring all the boys a yard, and their life is better than yours. I said, damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but my milkshakes bring all the boys a yard, and their life is better than yours. I said, damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but well, if you want it, the things that make me. What the guys go crazy for. They'll lose their mind. I'll redefine. I think it's time. Sha-la-la-la-la. I want it all. Sha-la-la-la-la. The boys are waiting. Sha-la-la-la-la. I want it all. Sha-la-la-la-la. Drop me pick. My milkshakes bring all the boys the yard, and their life is better than yours. I said, damn right, it's better than yours. My milkshake, sha-la-la-la-la, milkshake, whoa, 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 milkshake, sha-la-la-la-la, milkshake. Sing it with me, cunt. Sing it, cunt. Sing it with me, cunt.
I love how at the start of that, you're like, you'll know the words, and you started playing that, and I was like, what the fuck is that song?
You know the song.
Where in the world did you hear that?
I don't know if that was on.
It sure as shit wasn't Triple J like a
No,
version.
it was.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Who did it?
Fuck, that would have been probably 10 years ago. That was back when, like a version, they actually just had
When it was
a guitar?
Good. When it was good, yeah.
and
yeah,
just
yeah,
a guitar
yeah.
and not a fucking full band set up and fucking bullshit
not a 12,
like it
not
is
a
now.
12-piece orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome back to Pub Ammo Podcast.
I'm trying to think who that was, actually. Yeah. You can probably search it up.
If anyone knows, chuck it out to us.
Pardon me.
You used to love it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like a version. It
Well-
was awesome.
Back before podcasts and all that was around, I just used to have a radio and headphones in on my bag machine all day, and that's all I listened to was Triple
Just
J.
Triple
all day.
J non-stop.
But and even my friends, when I'm talking to them at parties, then I just bring up Triple J stories and shit, and everyone's like, "You're a Triple J fuckwit."
No, but that was back when Triple J lost its way a little bit, I feel, didn't it? Remember?
It went very woke.
It went very woke. It went very greeny. It just wasn't the Triple J of old. Because the original Triple J was gangster. They had great music. There was a period where they went through their real Aussie hip hop stage as well, remember?
Yeah.
And it was just shit hot. Like
That was
it really
back when it was shit hot.
Yeah, it was. And then it just became like, I don't know, ABC.
It just become like find every minority and make them the majority
I
and
know.
fucking and rub it in your face.
I know.
That was the worst part about it all.
And that's when we discovered podcasts.
Yeah.
What's cracking? How you been?
Oh, I had a bit on.
Had a bit on?
I like a West. I had a bit on.
Yeah, well, you do.
Apparently.
You do it to yourself, though.
Yeah, I know. Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. Q, how are you, brother?
Good.
That's the ticket.
You're looking busy there for doing nothing.
Oh, I know.
There's a fucking no screens on. What was going on?
Can't charge a laptop.
Can't charge a laptop. Nothing's working, but we're still making it.
You're gonna have to Google on your phone, mate.
Still making magic
my fingers
happen.
faster than my fingers.
Hey,
Oh,
I
that's
was-
what some of the girls say.
So I was almost jealous of you on the weekend because you went out the reef, and I was sitting on the fence like I nearly pulled a sickie. I was like, and then I kept checking the weather, and I was like, it'll be the like 15 side of 10 to 15, maybe. The morning looked good, and I was just sitting on the fence. And if I'm going to pull a sickie, I need to know that it's going to be 5 knots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
I'm going to pull a sickie, it's got to be worth it.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
No.
And I've spoken to a few people that went out.
Yeah.
No, resounding no. Everyone was just like, nah, that was shit.
I was out there and I seen some small boats and I'm like, fuck, you're going to have a struggle getting home.
Yeah, really.
What's that noise? Is it playing up?
Yeah.
Computer just trying to fire up.
Computers just
Is that so?
making
That's not
noises.
recording?
Yeah, that's recording.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. We're away. We're away.
It's just likes to make
Just
noise.
uppercut it.
Technological glitches.
Yeah, so yeah, got up Saturday morning, said we'll go for a fucking run out the reef. Hit you up, you were gay, said no.
True.
And yeah, so my young fella Asher, we got all our gear together, and I said I'll chuck me dive gear in. I was getting excited. I got pretty much overexcited. I took everything out of my shed pretty much.
Yeah, everything you own was on the boat.
It was on the boat. Let's go.
Yep.
And yeah, because he's getting into this fishing thing, so he's like, oh, well, I said, what do you want to do? I sat down with him beforehand. I said, what do you want to do? What do you want to chase today? And I'll run it around.
Make it happen.
And he reckons, oh, we'll go for a troll, see if we can get a mackie. I'm like, yeah, that's easy.
Yep.
Sort of. and then he said, I said, well, we'll do some jigging. He goes, we'll do some jigging then. I said, all right, I've got some jigs there. We can do that. Anyway, so we ended up doing those two, but you'd see the land, then you wouldn't see the land, then you'd
Was it that lumpy, was it?
Oh, well, yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't the
Yeah, it
worst.
was.
I've
Yeah, it was
seen.
shit.
Yeah, it was shit. It was probably the worst I've been in probably about 5 years.
Well, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And from what I've spoken to a couple of people, and everyone said the same thing.
Yeah.
It was, but for the uninitiated, for those that are listening around, we have like our windy season up here, which is generally from about now through till what? End of August?
Yeah, September.
Start of
usually.
September kind
It used
of
to
thing.
used to be September, but
Used to be
it goes
September.
into
Used to be,
October, nearly
you
November
used to be
now.
able to bank on September. The weather had come back, but for this kind of 4-month period, it just blows its ring out. 20 knots every day, 25 knots, which by standards around the country probably isn't huge wind, but by our standards up here, we kind of like the 3 to 4 knot days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we get a little bit desperate, don't we?
Yeah, so I got pretty desperate.
Yeah. Well, I was only talking to you last week, and I said, I'm hanging for a dive. Like the gills are drying out, the scales are disappearing, and all that sort of stuff. So when you said you were going, I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, and then I must have looked at the weather 100 times in 24 hours, and I was just like, nah, it's just, I don't think it's quite going to be there.
But the funny thing was when I left the river, it was 5 knots and it was flat.
Yeah, was it?
And I was just like, oh, yeah, this is not too bad. And I sort of I was going to go to another reef a bit further out, and I said to the young fella, looking at that breeze that's coming, as soon as we got it probably 2-3 out or mile out, there's a bit of southerly breeze started, and I said, mate, that breeze is a bit strong for this time of the day.
Yeah, okay.
I said, so we're going to the closest reef we can find.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's where we ended up, on the closest reef, and we started trolling. We trolled for like into it for like 20 minutes. Nothing, didn't get a hit. Nothing.
Big zero.
So I said, all right. Then I said, we trolled into it. Then I turned around and we ended up trolling with it. I'm like, fuck, how much easier is this going with it?
Let's go with it all the way to Cooktown. Yeah.
So we went with it for another 20 and nothing happened. So then I said, because when we did that, we ran over a couple of good rocks. So I marked them.
Yeah.
I said, we'll go back and we'll jig those rocks I marked. Anyway, I put the Minn Kota in. Didn't hold.
Wow, true.
Too windy, too rough.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was bowing like 45-degree angle Minn Kota.
And just wouldn't pull it.
Those arms on those things are
so flexible, aren't they?
and strong.
Yeah, I know. But I do wonder if they'd have more grunt if they weren't so flexible.
Yeah.
I think you lose.
it'd hold.
You lose a bit on them. Do you know what I mean? It's like fully suspended mountain bikes.
Yeah.
When you ride them on the road and you're trying to push, you lose that so much grunt through the suspension instead of it going to the wheels. You know what I'm saying? Same sort of principle, I think, eh?
Yeah. I never liked my school principal.
It's an idiot.
You know, when I first started school, the year before me, the principal's name, what do you reckon his name was?
Oh, God, here we go. No, go.
Wayne Kerr.
No, it wasn't.
100%.
Really?
His name, first name Wayne, last name Kerr.
Imagine the swingers on that bloke to have that name and think, you know what, I'm going to
be
get
a
into
principal.
teaching.
Principal.
Like, he must have had some brass balls
When
on
he
him.
walked, they reckon he was doing the splits when he was
Oh,
walking.
you'd hear it clang. Like, that's
Brass
awesome.
balls.
Really? Was his name really Wayne Kerr?
Well, I didn't get. He left the year I started.
No
the
way.
Year before, yeah. But he did my two brothers. Yeah.
He knew
Yeah,
what was
right.
coming.
That's nuts.
He knew it was coming.
Favorite teacher at school? Do you remember? Do
Um,
you remember? Remember your favorite teacher? Do you have a favorite
yeah.
teacher?
Not really.
No?
Yeah, mine was
Nah,
Mr.
oh,
Wilson, I reckon. His name was Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, he was,
Yeah,
he was,
yeah, yeah.
wasn't a bad
What
lad.
subject?
He was a bit of science and a bit of phys ed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but he just had the quick wit and smartness, and that's what I like. Just
So you'd give it that.
yeah, you'd give some shit, and he'd give back
Yeah,
something
okay.
worse, and you're like, "Fuck, can't got me."
Yeah, okay then. yeah, righto.
Yeah, they're the good ones.
Mine was probably we had this big Samoan dude that was a teacher, Mr. Sayapule, and he was awesome because he was also the rugby coach, and we could just do whatever we wanted in class, and he wouldn't hassle us
Don't
too
hurt
much.
yourself, boy. You gotta play this weekend, boy.
I'll finish my assignment, sir. Can I go kick some goals? Yeah, where you go. Thank you.
But another funny one, we had a teacher named Mr. Strike, and he was like when I was in grade 12, he started, and he was only a young fella,
yeah.
and we did some shit to him, eh?
Yeah, really?
He actually wasn't my teacher, but he was like our rugby league coach, and I ended up playing footy against him a couple of years later. And
Yeah,
like,
right.
yeah, and but we did some shit. Oh, we did the old when you go down behind. We're out kicking goals out in the paddock and that, and did the old where you crawl behind them and then you push them and they fall over.
Are you serious? You did that to
Yeah,
a
I
teacher?
did that to the teacher, and he just got up, "Hold your fuckheads!" And
Teachers back in the day were so much cooler, man. What about a hot teacher? Was there a hot teacher?
Yeah, not really.
No, really.
Yeah, it
Didn't have,
wasn't.
not one.
Oh, a couple like you wouldn't pass up on, but
But just because you were
Yeah.
young and they had big knockers,
Yeah,
was that all
that's
it
pretty
was?
much it,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, gotcha. What about yours? Do you have a hot teacher? Was there a hot teacher?
I
See,
feel
you
like I would
probably
know that.
did.
I feel like Tony probably knows some or something like
Well,
that.
you're a lot
you know,
younger.
'cause-
wait, say the name.
No, I'm not.
Say the
No,
name.
You got
say
it.
the-
No.
You got
wait,
it.
well,
No, I
wait,
don't
well,
even know
wait,
the
he's
first name.
definitely had one.
He
then.
knows.
He's
yeah,
got a
yeah,
name.
yeah. I feel like he might have tailed her up, actually.
That's secret.
Ours was Miss Hudson.
Yeah.
We had a Miss Hudson,
Yeah.
bro, banging. Like legitimately banging.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was smoking hot. Art teacher, too.
Yeah. Oh, art teacher. So
Yeah.
she probably would have had a chance.
Yeah, I reckon I didn't, but
But have you, any people at school? Did you ever hear of any of your friends banging a teacher?
there was a rumor about a girl that was in our class, that was in our year, hooking up with one of the PE teachers.
Oh,
That
that's-
went around. That went around for a bit, and it had some kind of traction to it. Do you know what I mean? There was a few things that you were kind of like,
Yeah.
it was a bit, yeah. So I'm
No.
not definitely not confirming, but also not denying.
Yeah, we had one. Her name was Mrs. West, and she had real big knockers, but she was a bit chubby little thing. But I heard
Yeah.
a couple of, and she was like gothy.
Oh, yeah.
But I heard a
Bit
couple of lads
alternative.
smacked her around in the grade 12 when I was in grade 8. Threw her around the room.
Have you seen the ones now though, like in the US and it happens here, like banging hot
Yeah.
teachers,
Yeah.
shagging 14-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
where were these
I think-
bitches when
is
we
there
was
one
at
when
school?
she got pregnant or something too? To it?
Yeah,
And he's a dad at 40.
it's crazy. And some of them are like absolute glamours, and I'm like, what the? I saw one not long ago, and the bird got arrested in
Yeah.
front of her husband,
Oh, no.
and the husband's standing there like, what? What do you mean? What?
What's he got that I don't?
What's she getting charged with? And the dude's like, yeah, statutory rape of a minor. He's like, what? What do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean?
But I even heard Rogan talk about it. It's like when it's a bloke teacher with the girls, you just want to kill them.
yeah.
But when it's a Sheila with a boy, you just want to high five them.
High fives all round. Well done, young fella. Gets home and his dad's like, now listen. Mum walks out the room.
Got any photos?
In the yearbook, which one was it? Show me.
The one that stuck together. Damn.
Son, she looks about 65. Yeah, Dad, I know. You're sick. Fuck.
There was one where this when I went to school, my old boy said to me, "Like, when you go to school today, mate, tell us what your school teacher looks like when you come home."
Yeah.
And when I come home, I said, "Dad, she's like this." And if you have a look, my hands are like up in front of my boobs because we're a podcast as well.
Yeah,
But
right.
She's like this. And I said, and he goes, "What, big knockers?" I said, "No, arthritis."
Cerebral palsy. Ah, you flog. You absolute flog.
It's not a good joke for the podcast, but I just realised that when I started saying, I'm like, fuck.
Absolutely
But we've got cameras.
In too deep.
Absolutely
You're going to have to go to YouTube and watch this one.
So what else is
so
new?
I was at the reef, yeah.
Yeah, you were. You're out the reef.
Then we go from the reef to
what'd you
rooting
end up?
teachers.
What'd you end up?
What a rabbit hole that one was.
You were
Indeed.
getting pounded in your boat.
Stay on
Yeah.
point.
Oh, that's right. I remember my ass was sore like at high school.
Yeah. Oh, was that high school or choir practice? Either or.
Yeah, so... Oh, that's right. So we're at the reef and the Minn Kota was bending, remember?
Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. That's where, yeah.
And
Go.
it wouldn't hold, so I thought, fuck it. All right, I'll go ahead of it and I'll drop the anchor down because I've got a winch there. I hardly ever use it because the Minn Kota usually holds in 5 knots. And so we dropped the anchor down and then I'm looking there. Next one I see the boat wave hit us and next one twang and yeah, the anchor's gone. So I lost the
did
anchor
ya?
as well. Yeah. So I looked at my young fella, I reckon, how's home sound? I was just that fucking wild.
Yes. Cut your losses.
Yeah.
Cut your losses. We're done. We're done.
We were
outta
home
here.
by 9:30. We left.
Oh, were
yeah.
you?
Yeah, we were only out, trolled for a bit, dropped, drove back.
Far out. That bad.
Yeah, it was
Glad
27. We drove 27 knots on the way out. Wasn't as bad, but on the way home, we were like 22, 23 knots. Yeah.
Glad I stayed at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Catch anything?
No.
Big fat zero.
Big fat zero. That's the first
Oh,
time I've
that's-
been in the reef and
that's-
got zero.
That's a bit. You've done zeros before, haven't you? I
No.
have. Have
haven't
you
done
not?
zeros? No.
Really?
But the only other day we've got close to a zero, we got one. We pulled up out the reef with Cody, and we dropped the line down. We caught one trout and looked back, and Cody's like, "Oh, is that motor supposed to be under the water?" And like, the boat was actually sinking, but because we left a big inspection plate off the back of the boat when we were, no, we actually stood on it and cracked it when we were welding a new canopy on it.
Yeah.
And we fucked it and we didn't realise. And then we got out the reef and the boat was sinking. And we were like, he's like, "So what do you do?" I said, "Watch this." Just gunned
Punch
it
it.
and fucking punched it, got all the water. It just got started. Like the cow was only 100 mil from being 100% under the water.
Wow,
And I
true.
gunned it and just up on the air. There's the nose up in the air and all the water pissed out through that hole. And he goes, "So what? Where are we going now?" I said, "Fucking home." I'm not stopping.
Straight onto the boat ramp. Yeah.
I was even worried about when we got the boat ramp, it was going to fill up. So I was like, when you get there, I'm just going to drop you off at the thing and keep
And do
driving
some
around in
circles.
circles
Yeah.
until you fucking back down.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Come out the other side okay though.
No, I died. We all drowned.
R.I.P.
Now, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to drown at the reef because of an inspection plate or anything like that, you should go and see the boys at Coastal Marine.
Yeah.
Joel and the crew, they've got a sale coming up,
I see that.
haven't they? You see that?
Yeah.
I got it up here because I
19th
was
to
never
the
getting
26th of
19th
May.
to 26th from the 2.5 horsepower all the way to the 400 horsepower Mercs. Have
So
you
we might get
seen a 400 horsepower Merc?
He's got one in his shop if you
They're
want to
a
have a look
beast,
at it.
eh?
Yeah,
They're
they're
a
fucking
beast.
7 foot tall.
They're crazy. Wonder what they weigh. What do you reckon they weigh? Have to be 300?
Oh, no, I don't think they are.
Are they not?
They'd be in the twos.
Really?
Mm. Well, I can bench press it, so yeah,
Oh.
250. 250
Big
maybe.
ass you can. So you can save up to
Well, when he goes to
4.5
put them
grand
on,
across
he's
the
like,
range.
"Tony, can you come in? Or we need a hand to put
You're
it
so
on."
full of shit. Across the Mercury range. And if you need a boat to go with it, Stacer.
Yeah, Stacer. I just took my. I'll get into it a bit further, a bit later. But I took my Stacer out yesterday for a run.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Not happy with getting flogged one day, you went out to get flogged again.
yeah, but this was up the river.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Get anything?
Oh, we'll keep
Okay,
going
all
about
right,
Joel.
all right. Yeah. Let's talk about Joel. So if you're in the FNQ area, you're chasing a new donk for your boat, or you need to get your donk serviced.
Yep. go
Your
see
current
Joel.
donk. Doesn't matter what brand it is, make, model, all that sort of thing. In fact, the older and the more obscure, the better.
The better.
Think,
He loves it.
think
He's like-
1980s Evan Rood's Jonos.
he calls
the
it.
Jono
he
two-bangers.
likes the patina.
The patina. That's it. So if you've got any of those, even if you're not using it anymore, it's just
Come and
sitting
just
in
show
the
your
shed.
patina off.
Just bring it in because those boys love working on those types of engines.
But while we're at it,
While
I'll
we're
open
at
this
it, though.
box here. I've got a Hick Micro thermal scope. You can see it in the video if you go on YouTube. And that actually, you take that end off there and you can slot it onto the end of your scope, like your normal
So
scope
if
on your
you
gun.
want something to keep an eye on your cheating whore of a missus while she's getting pounded by
Well,
some
school
dude,
teacher.
you can do it in the dark and he won't even know that you're there. Or alternatively, if you just want to shoot pigs,
Yep. Bang, bang, bang.
go and see them. They've got all sorts of firearms, thermal gear, boat, trailer, dog hunting gear, trackers, tracking collars,
Yep.
breastplates, you name it, they have it. Even some archery gear in there as well.
Yep.
Camping
So
gear.
that Hick Micro there, you like if you put it on at night, you can see pretty much everything. It's pretty good. We'll go and have a look as soon as we walk out of this room.
So you can actually see her getting pounded. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
big
right.
time.
Cool.
So that's Coastal Marine and Outdoors.
Absolutely.
They used to be our sponsor.
So if you like your fishing, hunting, and or stalking,
Goes out to you, Plank. Stalk Outdoors.
stalk outdoors. Anywho. If you're heading up this way and you need anything done, go and see him.
Yeah.
Done deal. So, pub ammo, what are we about?
Oh, we got a little bit on.
We do.
We like to just tell the stories and the yarns that you'd hear in the pub.
That's exactly right. Whether they be true, false,
Alleged.
or otherwise, alleged.
Alleged.
So I've got one for you that's, I actually checked it, and it is true. Did you hear about
Is it the first? Is it like your calculator last week?
No,
See, Bo got you too.
Bo got me.
Good setup there, Bo.
I feel like he had to get one back on me because he felt bad for getting you.
But it's there he put Maori math. All the Maoris.
I told him to. I was like, it is the only logical title for that. Go. But I've got one.
Eminem.
Yeah, that's right. I've got one for you, though. Have you heard about the killer kangaroo and the South Carolina Zoo?
No.
You heard about this
South
one?
Carolina.
South Carolina. So it's this privately owned zoo over there, right? And they've got kangaroos. And one of them happens to be a fairly sizable kind of an animal. It's not a red, but it's a big eastern grey. And for an extended period of... So dude got killed, right? Jumped in the enclosure with it, and he actually got jacked up by this kangaroo to the point where he died.
Yeah.
Now it hit
Because they
them-
choke, eh?
Yeah, they choke, they kick, they gut you, all sorts of stuff. So the story came out and everyone was like, oh my God, kill a kangaroo, blah, 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 blah. As it turns out, we're going to defend the kangaroo here because he's from here. He's one of us. It was the zoo owner's brother. And for a long period of time, this flog had been getting in there and boxing with the kangaroo. He used to do it pissed. Most of the time, he'd get on the terps and then to show off for his mates and you know, oh, check me out, I'm boxing with a kangaroo. Well, one day he just picked the wrong day, didn't he? Old Skippy was in an absolute CUNT of a mood and flogged him to death. He died.
He got rooted.
He got rooted.
How about that?
I know. But they don't. I think so many people from overseas and that sort of thing, they just have that image in their head of just soft and cuddly. And Skippy. Skippy started it. And they don't realise that most of them are murderers. Like they really are.
Like our drop bears.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the drop bears. That's exactly right. You know what I mean? You
I've
think
lost a few friends to them.
Yeah.
100%. We all have.
Yeah.
Like they're right up there with the grizzlies.
Yeah.
They are. I think they move a lot faster. They're a lot stealthier than the grizzlies. Do you know what I mean?
And
Like
when they
grizzlies can't
fall-
actually sneak up on you. Let's be honest.
They're like a 50-pound bowling ball.
basically a bowling ball with teeth
Yep.
and claws.
Mm.
So between them and the murderers, it's a dangerous part of the
dangerous world
And
out
then
there.
you throw on, the snakes, the spiders, the crocs, the sharks, the women. It's a scary place to be in Australia. Anyway, so you got any pub ammo? I've got other stuff
I've just
too.
got a little yarn with talking about the women.
All right, shoot. Here we go again.
So while we went to the reef that day, we pulled in the servo like we usually do to
Yeah.
get some ice. Apparently they don't sell ice there anymore, but apparently I just think she didn't want to fucking leave the back room to give me the key.
Which servo?
The one
Our
we always
usual.
go to. Yeah.
Really?
So I'm not going there anymore. They can get fucked.
100%.
And but while we were in there, we went around to the fridge, got some drinks, got some food, and this lady was standing there, and she had a Jack Daniel's can in her hand on the
What time in the morning was this?
6:30.
Solid effort.
Yeah, so
Solid effort.
and she's sitting at the blocking. You know where they serve, they got that bit of plastic in the hole.
The perspex so you don't
Yeah,
get
so
shot.
she's
Yep.
standing there in front of that with the Jack Daniel's cans, and she's on her phone, and she's like going through her phone. Anyway, I thought, most people who have a Jack Daniel's cans that time of the morning have problems with credit cards.
Yeah.
Usually those type of people.
Yep.
So I thought she's flicking through her phone trying to find a credit card that works.
And possibly alcoholism
Yeah.
as well. It's probably another problem that they have. But yeah, go.
And she's flicking through her phone, and I didn't even take any notice of what she was looking at. And Ash like bumped me, and he's like, look at what she's looking at. She was just on Google, just going through Google, just looking at pictures and just scrolling while she's standing in front of the thing, and we're behind her,
Just
lined up
doom
to get served.
scrolling.
But it was like we weren't even there. She's just like, and the lady behind it in the counter, this Asian lady, is just standing there staring at her, like not
Waiting
saying a
for
word,
something to happen.
waiting for something to happen. She's just standing there staring, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I said,
Twilight Zone.
and then I'm like, what's going on? And then she like looks and goes, closes the phone down and grabs a can and walks outside.
Didn't even get anything.
Didn't buy anything.
Oh my God.
And then she gets in a car.
Welcome to the fail.
She gets in a car and then goes across the street to the Signal, whatever it is,
Oh yeah.
and they parked in the car park there. And I'm putting two and two together. So these women that have been doing this have been parking, I've heard today, are parking at a big supermarket in town at the front on a Thursday, Friday and Saturday, or Thursday and Friday nights, waiting for the Vanu boys to walk outside and offering themselves out.
Well, there you go.
And saying, hey, would you like to, do the deed for $50? And they,
Well, she was probably just checking her Google ad then.
yeah.
Making sure it was coming up as like the #1 search. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean,
And
stars
she's
she
just doom
got?
scrolling like, I paid for that fucking domain page and I've scrolled through 16 goddamn screens and haven't even... Oh, there I am. Right, okay.
What's she called? Brown sugar coconut.
Cinnamon and honey.
So that's what we're dealing with in Innisfail.
Wow, look, I'm sure that's not limited to just Innisfail. I'm sure that's every town. I'm also sure that other towns probably have better looking ones than we do.
I was like, geez, I'm not going to say anymore.
And that's why ours charge $50.
Where'd you say they were?
Negotiable.
For research.
For research purposes only. You got to start wearing like reggae colours. You get some black dreads. You'll be right in there, bro.
Okay, all right. So on the topic of these type of creatures, that's the word. I've got one for you. Where is it? Hang on. Screenshots. There we go. Okay. The human anus.
It can stretch
You
more than
started
your
it.
face.
You started it. you
right.
brought up hookers. I'm bringing up the human anus.
All right, I can tell you one before you. How many wrinkles does an asshole have?
I don't know.
Smile
I
and I'll
can
count 'em.
I can count 3 on your forehead.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hey, you just shut up. Turn your fucking mic off.
I've got one for you. The human anus, because you brought it up. Did you know that in extreme cases can stretch up to 7 to 8 inches? Inches, boys.
That's what they call fisting.
That's legging.
Legging.
setting.
Yeah.
Like, because that's probably
Yeah.
about 4 inches, brother. So we're talking
Yeah.
2 of my
No,
feet.
that's at
that's
least
about
6.
4.
That's bro.
That's about
7
4.
to 8 inches.
So that's about that big if you're on YouTube.
But typically only manages 2 to 5 centimeters for a shit. Now, a 5
it hurts.
centimeter turd, like a 5 centimeter turd, that's
Yeah.
that's a weapon of a turd.
And usually, if you're pushing out something like that, hemorrhoids come with
There'd
it.
be a little bit of blood with that,
Yeah.
surely. Okay, so let's take it one step further. Here we go. What do you think? How far do you think a blue whale's anus can stretch?
To New South Wales?
We're not far off. Yeah. 3.5 feet,
Fucking hell.
about
That's a
1,200.
meter.
bit over a meter, about 1,200 across, to unleash massive krill-fueled waste, far surpassing human limits due to its size and design. Well, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. Humans aren't even 3.5 feet across, are we?
Yeah.
Imagine that for a turd, though.
Have we spoken about on here that the other thing that they secrete, the whales, for the perfume?
Oh, no.
It's like a
What is that?
stomach boil.
Oh.
Is
You
it
got a phone in your hand there.
Is it
right?
the oil? Is that the oil?
No.
No, it's like a rock,
Yeah.
Oh.
It's,
and there's a name for it, and they scratch it off and they put it in perfumes.
Really?
Yeah, and it's very expensive. If you go walk along the beach in New Zealand and that
ambergris.
ambergris, yeah, that's it.
Ambergris. And that's
It's
what they make
actually
perfume out of.
Sperm
Mm.
whales, when they eat the beak of when they eat colossal squid and stuff.
Yeah.
It's what protects their stomach.
From
So,
the
yeah,
beak
from the
ripping
beak.
their stomach
Yeah,
open.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
builds that up in its stomach, and when they finally regurgitate it,
Yeah,
ambergris.
right.
Yeah.
And the smell of it's like perfume.
I got a useless one on sperm whales. I don't think I might have told it on here, but I'm going to tell it again. You know how they dive so deep?
Mm.
You know they got their big bulbous head, like their big head.
Yeah,
It's got a big sack in that head, and it's basically a big sack of fat. But they can release a hormone when they're getting ready to dive, when they're breathing up like we do when we go to our
Yeah.
massive
I
depths.
can see your sack.
Yeah. so what happens when they want to dive? They release a hormone, turns that big sack of like fat, oily stuff into a solid, and then they just turn themselves head down, and it just acts as a great big weight. But when they want to come back up to the surface, they release another hormone, and it turns it back into a liquid, an oil, and it brings them back up. There you go. Useless piece of information about sperm whales.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well,
What have you got? You got anything?
We talked about I say bring up some banana facts.
Yeah. Yeah, go on then.
Oh, you want some more?
Yeah, I do.
Banana. The curve of a banana. Do you know what it's called? Why bananas curve?
No, go.
Oh, it's the machine I put them in usually.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a banana bender.
Yeah.
It's called
Makes it easier to swallow whole?
yeah.
Right.
This just stops you put them in your hole.
Go. What is it?
It's called negative geoprism. Geotropism.
And why is it though? Or is it just how
Bananas
they grow?
they grow because they turn towards the sun.
Oh, true.
So in the bag, so they come usually when they come out, they're facing down and they're straight, and then they'll just curve up so the end faces the
Oh,
sun.
do they? So
Yeah.
when they come off the bunch, like when you take the bag off, they're predominantly straight, are they?
No,
No.
before you put the bag on.
Oh, before you put the bag
So when
on.
as you put the bag on, they're usually a straight,
Yeah.
and then or they can be a bit curvy, but
Yep.
about a week after they're straight, they're pretty much fully curved.
True story.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. And bananas are a berry.
Herb.
They're a herb. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they actually.
Bet you can't smoke it though.
Nah, man.
Well, I don't know. You dry anything out and you can smoke it, really, though, can't you?
And they have diverse uses besides eating them. Banana leaves can be used for wrapping food.
Indeed.
Banana stalks can be used for fabric and also make paper.
Yep.
And also banana peels can be used for shoe polish.
Can they?
They make shoe polish out of the bananas.
And
Skins.
I've seen another one that people in Asia do where they cut the trunk off, right? And then they scoop out the middle of the trunk and they put sugar in it. And then they leave it for a bit and it
Man-
fills up with like a like water, like a banana water, and it mixes with the sugar, and I think they make a grog out of it.
Alcohol.
Yeah, there you go. Lots of uses
There's-
for a banana.
There's another one you do up in the islands up north in the Torres Strait. They climb the coconut trees and they'll, as the coconuts as they come out, they're like a bell, like a banana bell, pretty much.
Yep.
You cut the end of that and you put a cup under it, and it'll drip into the cup,
Yeah.
and it ferments, and that turns into an alcohol.
True story.
And it's actually illegal for them to do it. That like they get caught doing it, they get in big trouble up there now because everyone was doing it at one stage.
You can't do anything these days. You really can't. I've got another useless one for you. And shout out to our mate Ben Pettigill. This might apply to him. Well, it won't apply to him actually, because no one blind has ever been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Haven't they?
No.
No. Well, he was 16 when he turned blind.
He's at risk then. He might be schizophrenic.
Yep.
But anyone that's like legit blind, never been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
See, Ben, you're not even legit.
So, so it goes to show how much of it is monkey see, monkey do.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a fair bit of it must be visual. Must be.
Mental. Yeah.
Yeah. And I fact checked that one. I was like, no, surely.
Yeah.
But no, legit. No one blind has ever been diagnosed with it.
Because they can't see what the other person looks like that's in their head.
Fuck. You probably hit the nail on the head too. How can you hate someone when you can't see
I
them?
can't fucking see them. I
Yeah.
hate that voice in my head. What do you look like? I can't tell you.
Who said that?
Well, fuck off then. Okay, see ya. And you hear the door shut.
Oh, shit jokes.
Shit
Shit jokes.
So, yeah, that's all I got for banana facts.
Oh, look, I got a couple more for later.
Well,
But
the other one is I put a post up today actually on my thing. We actually cut our first plant bunches this year.
oh yeah, I saw that.
So that was we planted them around July, August last year, and
What's
so
that, 10 months,
about
is
10
it?
months onward.
And that's from a brand new plant, isn't it?
No, it's from a sucker from the bottom of a tree.
Yeah,
So
right.
What you get an old tree, dig it out of the ground, you can cut it up into like 6 probably pieces, and then you just plant that piece in the ground, and 10 months later you're cutting bunches off it.
So you're basically just planting a piece of the root system, are you?
It's the bulb. It's like the eye. So it's a sucker. We call them suckers.
Yeah, all right.
And
Another word is bit.
yeah, with
bit,
all
yeah.
bits. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We call them banana bits, suckers, and they'll have a little eye that grows off that piece.
Okay.
Because around the bottom of a banana tree, heaps of little suckers will come up.
Yep.
And that's usually as they get older. So that's just what we cut them up before they actually start growing.
Okay then. And does it give you a stronger tree?
Yeah, the bits are because they're deeper in the soil too. Because everyone plants the tissue culture, and they're only probably because the trees they're probably 400 tall or 500 tall. When they plant them, the root system's only a little thing that's in the ground.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. Yep.
Where the bit actually, we actually put when there's an eye, we call it, you face that down.
Yep.
When you put it in the rill, and then it'll sort of grow around and hook and come back up, so it actually hooks into the soil
Gets
more.
a good purchase on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Your dogs are about to eat somebody.
Hope so.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, so that's what happens, and then they grow, and
Because I think it's the same with tomatoes.
Yep.
When you grow a tomato, you let it kind of take root, and then once the tree gets to about 12 to 16 inches, you actually cut the bottom couple of leaves off and you lay it down.
Yep.
You lay it down flat and you cover it over with some dirt. So you cover up about half of what's already grown with dirt,
Yep.
and that will then become roots. That'll shoot roots, and it just makes for a bigger, better, stronger tree.
Yep.
Last longer, throw more fruit, get more nutrients, all that sort of stuff.
Have you heard of marcotting?
I have heard of it. Now, is this where you can cut a little sliver into the tree and then put another piece in? Is that it, or is that grafting?
That's grafting.
That's grafting. Okay, what's
but there's
marcotting?
one where you sort of ring bark the tree,
Yeah.
and then you on a branch, like a thin branch.
Yep.
And then you can get like a plastic cup or something.
Oh
and fill it with
yes.
dirt,
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And then you wrap it in plastic and hold it on there and fill it up with water.
Yep.
And after about, I think, 40 days or something, it'll be just full of roots. Then you can just cut it off at the bottom and plant that into
And then
the ground.
plant that. I have
it's
heard
like
of that.
Another version of grafting.
Yeah. Okay. You don't graft anything on bananas,
Nah.
do you? You just grow them once they're done,
Yeah.
cut them off.
Only thing with marcotting is they don't have a good taproot or don't have a taproot.
Okay.
So when you plant them, they'll go in the ground, but they won't throw this big, deep taproot. So if you get a lot of wind and stuff, they'll bowl over.
It'll knock them over.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
right.
why usually marcotting stuff, you put a trellis up. And you grow
Oh,
everything on
yeah, right.
trellises
I
and
got you.
stuff like
Give them
that.
something to hold on to.
Mm.
Yeah, right. Okay. Speaking of knocking them over, guess what's coming up in about 2 weeks' time, Bruss?
Origin?
State of fucking origin.
That was a good guess, too.
Yeah, brother. Yep. So they announced the teams today.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they jumped.
What are your thoughts? Because I don't even know any players' names anymore.
Oh no, you'll know them. You'll know them. I'll do.
The fullback spot in New South Wales is a pretty contentious one, isn't it, at the moment?
Nah, they ended up going with.
Pappenhausen?
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
No, they went with Dylan. Dylan Edwards. That's the one. Yeah.
Like, he's a good player, but he's not in Pappenhausen's realm at the moment.
I don't think he is either. But I think the thing that kind of gets Pappenhausen overlooked is his size.
Mm. And his injury list.
Well, yeah, look, that's probably true too, his injury list. But there's not too many surprises in the New South Wales team. So Edwards, To'o and Lomax on the wings, Stephen Crichton and Latrell Mitchell in the centres, which is pretty terrifying, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like that Stephen Crichton is the Michael Jordan of centres at the moment.
Mm.
Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary. And so Moses got the nod over Luai.
That's crazy because
yeah, I kind of thought it was
pretty much
too.
has done enough to
I think he has.
stay in there.
Because he's done pretty well with the Tigers.
Oh.
Even though the Tigers aren't doing amazing, they have improved out of sight, and he's a big part of that
How'd
reason.
they go last week?
They lost to the Bunnies, but only by about 4.
No, the week before.
Shut the fuck up. You flog. Mitch Barnett, Reece Robson, Payne Haas in the front. Liam Martin, Angus Crichton in the second row, and Isaiah Yeo. So
Liam
there's
Martin, I wish he was a Queenslander.
I know, right? I reckon
he's got the. You know what he looks like? There's a Les Norton, the show on If you go on Netflix, pause it and go on Netflix right now and type in Les Norton. He looks fucking just like him.
Yeah, really. If he was a Queenslander, he'd be everybody's favourite, but he's not.
Yeah.
So we hate the cunt.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
That's the same as
Gallon.
Yeah, oh.
Gallon was the same. If Gallon had been a Queenslander, mate, he would have
Yeah.
been everyone's favourite.
Yeah.
He would have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would have loved the shit out of Paul Gallon. He would have
Yeah.
been an absolute weapon. And on the bench, Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young, and Max King.
I don't even know.
So they haven't really changed up too much. They've stuck with what's won them the last 4, and that's
Is Yo not
about
in
it.
there?
Yeah, Zayo's in there. There was only one that I think a lot of people, and this is the thing with, there's been a bit of a blow up this week in the NRL because Marty Tapau, who plays for the Broncos, he liked a post that somebody put up on Instagram. And the post that was put up was a bit critical of the Broncos coach, Madge Maguire, right? They sacked him.
Over a like.
They sacked him over liking a post.
Fuck me.
This
for
is
real?
the same week that they've let a bloke come back after serving a 12-game suspension. Or, no, 8-game
Crashing a
suspension,
car,
I think it
whatever.
was. Crashing a car, injuring a fucking 2 or 3-year-old while high on coke and a disqualified license.
No, it was on Gunja, wasn't he? Not Coke.
No, it was coke.
That was- yeah.
Oh, I think it was coke and
thought it was
ganja.
dope,
It was
yeah.
definitely coke. No, 100% it was definitely coke.
But it's like, if it was both, what's he trying
So-
to do? Is he trying to be level here?
Either way, it didn't improve
He's
his
just trying to
driving.
go straight down
Yeah.
the road.
So I thought that was really a bit rich. That was a bit rich.
Over a
And
like.
Over a like.
Fuck me.
Didn't comment, just liked. And don't get me wrong,
And
Marty
maybe
Tapau's-
he's just like reading and he accidentally
Oh, that's
didn't
the
know
thing.
he even liked it.
And like Marty Tapau's at the end of his career, like, yeah, okay, but still, that's a real shit double standard. And I think the Broncos are at a bit of a point at the moment where they need to sort their shit out because they're not going well with the roster that they've got. There's a bit of
Didn't-
conjecture
they
about
had
the
a couple-
coach. There's just a lot of double standards.
Well, they had
and-
a couple of good games at the start. Everyone thought they're
yeah.
on.
And now it's just fallen apart for them. So they lost this weekend. They lost last weekend. So,
It's funny how like it can change so quickly.
well, another one that
Dynamic.
over like an Instagram or an online thing was
You.
the big front rower that's been playing for the Tigers this year. His name's Terrell May, and he's been a beast. Like he's pretty much been the second best prop behind Payne Haas in the whole competition. and a lot of people had him as a bit of a shoe-in to get into the side.
Mm.
And he was on some sort of live stream the other night talking about the State of Origin team, and now he was probably not going to get picked. And he made a comment on his live stream while he was playing his Xbox, and I reckon that's the reason he didn't get picked. It's because he said something on a live stream while playing Xbox.
Fuck, for real.
These fellas just can't keep cameras away from themselves, can they? Hey, boys,
Nice one.
let's do some powder and take photos. Like, I mean, just like, really, dude, doing nothing to dispel the notion that footy players aren't real bright. But anyway, that's the New South Wales side. Queensland side, Kalen Ponga got the fullback jersey.
Well done, Kalen.
yeah.
You deserve it, mate.
Yeah.
Yep. Xavier Coates and Valentine Holmes are on the wings. Val Holmes got pushed out to the wing by a dude named Robert Toyer, who you probably never heard of. He's only played 11 games for the Roosters. He's a bit of a beast. Like, he's a big unit and he's real mobile.
That's what you
he's
need
quite
when you've got
abrasive.
Trell and, and
But
Crichton.
Billy's put a lot of faith in him.
Yep.
Bill's put a lot of faith in him.
And the good thing about
and
that-
talks him up.
And the
up
good
in a
thing
big way.
about that, when Bill does that, it'll build that follower up.
Yeah, it
and
will. And
you'll
they've
wanna-
picked him. A vast majority of the reason they picked him is on his attitude and his culture. Like his club coach, apparently. Bill was on the news talking about him earlier today, and he was saying that his club coach speaks really highly of him as a human, not just a player. And that's what Queensland's always been about,
Yeah.
picking on character, not just ability. And he's in the centres with the Hammer, which I don't think
Yep.
anyone's surprised there. Cameron Munster, Daly Cherry Evans in the centres, which I think
Centres?
surprised. Yeah, because they were talking about maybe Tommy Dearden taking Daly Cherry Evans' jersey.
Yeah. But he's done too much.
He's done too much,
Cherry
and
Evans.
then also Manly also touched up the Cowboys on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I think it was a bit of an audition that went wrong for
Yeah.
young Dearden, but Dearden did make the bench. Mo Fodawaker, Harry Grant, and Tino Fasuamala-Awi in the front row. Ruben Cotter, Jeremiah Nanai in the second row. Paddy Carrigan at the back.
You know what makes me laugh is Cotter, front rower. He's what?
100
90
kilo,
95
maybe.
kilos.
maybe.
He'd only be, well, how tall is
Well,
he?
he's
Can you
second.
see-
He's
he only be
second row
5'9"
for
or
this. Oh,
something?
yeah, nah, he'd be bigger than that. I reckon he's probably 6 foot, maybe
Nah,
6
I
foot
don't
one.
reckon he's 6.
Yeah, I reckon he would be. All these boys.
Let's
are big
put a
now.
guess. Let's put a guess on. I reckon
the
he'd
thing
be
is-
5'10".
I had this discussion with a good mate of mine, Dale, earlier today. Shout out Daisy. You'll pick Ruben Cotter because he'll play 80 minutes.
Yeah, he will.
He's just-
100%.
He's got an engine room
Yeah.
like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's like Dallas Johnson. Remember Dallas Johnson?
Yeah.
Every game.
He's from Atherton.
Yeah, he
Dallas
was.
Johnson,
That's
yeah.
exactly right. But he had a huge engine. You make 60 tackles a game.
Mm.
He'd still chew up 150 metres, 180 metres even. And that's what Cotter does, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, the only reason he'd come off the field is if he's injured.
Yeah.
So
1.8 meters, 95 kilograms.
So
Is he
1.8.
really
so it's
that
5'10".
little?
Shorter than me, yeah.
that's my height.
Yeah.
And smidgen
95.
lighter.
Yeah.
95, really?
95, Yeah.
Far out. That's not real big to be playing
But he'd be
up front.
Up
Oh,
front.
he'd be chunky. Yeah, he'd be chunky as.
But that's
Probably more.
Remember who else was front row? Volkanovski.
Volkanovski, yeah, true. At 5'2". Yeah, so Ruben Cutter, Nanai, and Carrigan. And on the bench, they got Lizzie Collins, Beau Fermor. Well done, Beau Fermor, because he's been tearing it up for the Titans for the last probably 2 years now. He's been really, really good. And Trent Loiero, which
Who's
was he plays for. Oh, who does he play for? I can't even remember. Arrow, he is with. I don't know. Oh, Melbourne. Melbourne Storm.
It's my
Second row for
team.
Melbourne.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
mate,
yeah.
I watch it all the time.
Yeah, so
When I
it's,
walk past them.
it's going to be on paper. I hate to say it, but you probably got to favour New South Wales on paper.
Oh, you have to, sure. That's a good team New South Wales got,
Yeah, it is. It
especially the
is.
centres.
Yeah,
Jeez.
especially the centres, man. And Latrell's just got his swagger back too, and I hate that.
Mm.
Like, he shits me to tears, Latrell, but when he's on, there's not too many better footballers in the game, eh?
No,
Like,
but
when he decides to play, man, it's a scary prospect because he gets swagger about him. He's almost cocky and arrogant in the way that he plays, but he's good. He's just good.
I think bloody the halves aren't going to get along for New South Wales.
Maybe, I don't know.
They play the same type of game. You know,
Yeah.
you're supposed to have your fucking storm and calm, whatever.
Yeah.
They're both
calm and
calm.
chaos. Yeah, they kind of are a little bit. Really was a little bit surprised. I thought Luai would get a bit of a look in, but they reckon because Luai's been playing half, but he's a running halfback. Like
He played
10 years
5'8".
with. That's exactly right. He's played with Cleary since he was 13 or 14 years old. Like you'd be hard pressed to get a better combination.
Right. It's a help for us.
But it's going to be a cracking good game. I'm actually looking forward to it. And there's a few fellas that missed out, like, Murray Tuolangi and Selwyn Cobbo missed out, but they're all injured. Tom Gilbert's injured. There's a few injuries just from the weekend that kind of changed the outlook of it, because there was a couple of people that were kind of almost shoo-ins, one being Selwyn Cobbo for sure. Yeah. But it is what it is. It is what it is, but looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Have you watched any good shows on Netflix or YouTube or anything?
No, but one of my favourite, YouTube shows to watch is done. He's pulled the pin. Our mate Luke from Outdoor Boys.
Yeah, sad.
He's done it. I was gutted. What else do you watch before you go to bed? You've never seen Outdoor Boys?
No.
You've been living under a fucking rock. I can't believe we're mates. I really can't.
So what is it?
Tell
us all about it.
Outdoor Boys, dude living in Northern America, not Canada, but Northern America. And he started this a long time.
Was he living in Alaska or whatever?
11 years ago, I think it was, he started. This dude here.
Oh, yeah, I'll watch him, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been going forever.
He doesn't look like he should be doing outdoors.
No, he's just such an unassuming, goofy kind of a guy and all of his challenges that he does, they're
and
legit.
He does them.
They are legit, man. Going out into the middle of the Alaskan wilderness with a blanket.
Yeah, I watched him do one where he just made a shelter underneath the stump of a tree that has fallen over and made a fire under it, and then he laid on that because it kept the warm and the dirt on the tree. And
that's right.
I'm like, holy shit.
And I've seen another one he did on the edge of a river where he just heated up the sand. Just got the sand hot. And eventually he just moved the fire off where he was going to sleep, threw some dry sand over it, laid down, slept the whole night just on some hot, dry sand. The dude's a weapon, you know what I mean? He is.
But because I've been in the cold now, I know what cold's like.
You'd die.
No, but he when I was over there, and it was said, it's it feels like minus 13, and he's still got his hands with no gloves. I was going out in minus 10, and you cannot have your hands
nearly
out of your
dying.
gloves.
I know.
And
then
he's
he'd take his
it's
kids.
minus 13 at the moment.
He'd take his little kids, man, and he'd just make some sort of shelter, grab some caribou hides and chuck them in some sort of bear skin, and these kids would just sit there chit-chatting to their dad, that sort of thing.
We're going out in a boat,
It's
Dad.
minus 104. It was just the coolest thing.
Pretty sure his son has a YouTube channel.
His young fella,
Yeah.
I think his young fella's 12 or 13, and he started his own kind of little channel, you know what I mean? But he did, I'm not sure how many he ended up doing. I think it was over 1,000 episodes. I think it was 1,100 episodes or something like that. It was crazy. He released an episode every weekend without missing a weekend.
How many subscribers did he have?
Oh, crazy
He'd
amount.
have to have
In the
millions,
millions. In the millions. Yeah, well and truly in the millions. He was making, so off his YouTube channel, it's estimated that he would be worth 9 million just off his YouTube channel. And he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer by trade. He actually put his career on hold just to do the full-time streaming type thing. And then I think it was about 12 months ago, maybe a little bit more, he dropped back to just doing one episode a fortnight instead of doing everything. And
he got soft.
Yeah. And I think what it was, though, because he made a bit of a little clip about it, and he said it just got a bit too much for him and the family. Because everywhere they went, he would just get stopped and not hassled, but just the constant, you know what I mean?
The admiration.
The constant fame. And he said it just started to take a toll on his family. They couldn't go anywhere. They had no privacy. They had all that sort of thing.
That's not going to change for 10 years, bro.
Yeah, well, it probably won't. Yeah. It probably won't. But
he's just going to be a recluse. And
yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
He's probably hoping if he falls off someone else will take his spot over sort of.
Yeah.
But he's probably, I dare say you're probably talking about the most successful or one of the most successful kind of standalone YouTube channels that I reckon there's ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like there's that Mr. Beast and all those kind of kids ones online streaming kind of things that everybody likes. But like this dude's 15.3 million subscribers
Fucking hell.
on YouTube. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like, that is huge.
Well,
So
they reckon Brody Moss is the same too.
he'd have to be
He's
getting
very
up there, wouldn't he?
reclusive. He's probably in around the 5 mil or something.
YBS?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I wonder how many he's got. No, he's 8.5,
But
which is
because-
still huge.
yeah,
Don't get me
because
wrong.
where
that's-
he lives, he's sort of lucky. He's
He
in the middle of
can.
nowhere.
Yeah, that's
He's up near
exactly right.
Exmouth, wherever
Yeah,
it
and
is.
he's just outside of Exmouth. So, but I mean, that's the one thing you never think of when you talk about all these. I don't want to say fame hounds, but
Yeah.
these online. Eventually, it gets to a point if you're doing it well and you're successful at it. Well, eventually, you are going to become a celebrity, aren't you?
So we're going to call this is probably going to be our last episode. We're getting
Breaking
too
news.
famous.
Talking
We got
about,
pulled up 2 weeks ago.
YouTubers,
But
I actually seen that coffee break guy.
Yeah,
The one,
he just
yeah,
come
was
through
in the
Innisfail last
harbour,
week.
Yeah. He got stuck
Coffee
here.
break guy?
Yeah, coffee from like Coffs Harbour.
I think he's
but
Sam.
he's
No, from Gold Coast.
Gold
Sam
Coast.
Coffee, I think his name is. Sam
oh,
Coffee?
is it? Yeah.
what's he do? Fisherman.
No, well, him and
he's-
his father pretty much got
Tweed
like
heads,
a
tweed.
6.5
yeah.
meter,
From-
7 meter boat,
Yeah.
alley boat, and they're going to go from Tweed Heads all the way around to Broome, pretty much.
Wow, for real. And
Yeah.
they've made it this far so far, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to Merlin Harbour just the other week there.
Mm.
Wow.
I was doing polls and I pulled up and Manu, he does
Yeah,
something
he's
in
the
harbour there,
Port Authority. Yeah, he runs
yeah.
the Port Authority down
Yeah,
there.
and I had to ring him to get into the power pole that's in that
Yeah,
locked gate area. And then he's
Shout
like,
out,
"Oh, I'm
Manu."
just shout out. And yeah, he goes, "Oh, I'm just down here talking to someone." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll come see you." And then met him, and I was like, "Oh, sweet." And he's like, "Yeah, he's going from Tweed Heads all the way to Broome."
Far
Yeah.
out.
Joel took down a hydrofoil for his boat.
Yeah, for real.
And he actually said it works really well. So Joel took it down and bolted it on his boat for him.
What sort of boat's he in? Do you know?
It looks. It's a 6 and 7.5. Yeah, it's about 7
Plate boat?
meter. Yeah, plate boat, white one. I don't know what brand it is. It's like Surtees, mate. I
Yeah, okay. Far
can't
out.
remember the name of it actually.
That's a
um,
hell of a trial for a boat, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like that really is. That's cool. That's very cool.
yeah. They probably left a month ago.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
that's far out. They're setting pretty good
Maybe
time,
2
man.
months ago.
Yeah,
I remember
right.
seeing their first episode and I watched it. I'm
First
like,
episode a month ago.
yeah.
That'd be still be very weather dependent though, wouldn't it?
Like I felt like saying, I'm like, you're gonna wait another 4 months and then do it. It'd be so much
Yeah.
easier.
Trailcraft 6.6.
Trailcraft.
Trailcraft,
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, so pretty much because the Northerlies will start around November, September. Yeah, I remember I used to play footy and they'd start in September, but lately they've been starting a bit later.
Bit later.
About October, November.
Yeah,
so
definitely November.
You don't want to be going into the Northerlies heading up around the top. So
Yeah, you
You've
probably
gotta
want to
figure-
get there first. Don't want to punch into it. And I mean, having a swell up your ass isn't that bad. I mean, even if it's 20 knots, you
well, that's like as a
Sit
few
on
years ago
15
they
knots.
paddled from where'd they paddle from? Cooktown to the tip, or might even have been a bit lower. Might have been Port Douglas to the tip.
yeah,
And they lucked it and they got Southerlies all the way too, and that was in November.
yep.
And like, because I said to them, I said, "You sure you want to do it like it's Northerlies this time of the year, eh?" And you're like, "Yeah." They went and they lucked it. They got Southerlies all the
Nice
way.
breeze up there, Freckle.
Yeah. Well, they got chased by crocs and everything, and
Tell
their
you what,
fucking
though,
canoes. Fuck
Tweed
that.
Heads to Broome, far out.
Mm.
I wonder how far that is in nautical miles. That's a big hike,
Oh,
man.
fuck. Yeah.
And I wonder if they'd go. Would you go?
They got to stick to the coast, so they're going all the way around the coast.
Are they?
Yeah,
You
because
wouldn't
they're only
run.
in a
You wouldn't run from the tip across.
no. You
You
have
don't
to go-
reckon?
No, because they'd have to. It'd cost. They'd chew too much fuel. They probably got about a 600 or 700k thing they can probably run in their boat. And if you go across the Gulf, that's a fucking long way to go across there from tip to tip.
Yeah, 260 nautical miles,
Mm.
480 k's.
In a 6.5 meter boat. no thanks.
Yeah, when he said,
stick
"Oh
to the
yeah, we're
coast."
traveling," and I like looked out, I'm like, "Oh, where's the boat?" And then it was docked in that little on the pontoon,
Yeah,
and
and that was
like,
it.
I was like, "Oh, oh, oh."
Oh.
I was like, "Have you seen the swell out there?"
That's why they were in there.
Yeah,
They were in there for like 4 days or something.
Yeah, they
right?
were there for a while.
The local croc's half a meter bigger than them. That's cool. That's a hell of an
Because I was
adventure.
never
Good on
going
you,
to
boys.
get in contact with him and tell him if the weather's good, we can go do something with him out here. But yeah, they were.
But the
turned up
weather's
on
shit
time.
and we didn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, you got another 2 months before we're going to do anything fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Far out.
So
That's
talking
yes.
about more things fun, I come home from the reef that day after being defeated by the Great Barrier Reef on the weekend.
Yeah.
I come home and I got a bit of stuff from Joel and also from Ocean Logics, and I got a live scope. And,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
put
right.
it on me tinny.
Yeah.
So
You were
live
telling me about
scopes.
this.
It's a different world, the live scope.
Is it?
Like you put it in the water and you can move it around and you can float, have a look for fish. You just keep it still and you can just watch the fish actually swimming. Then you just throw your lure at the fish and then you can see your lure coming back and you can see them chasing it and you're like, all right, slow down, and all
It's
this
that
shit.
accurate, is it?
Pretty good.
It's a game changer, isn't it?
It's a game changer, but
Yeah.
it's still a little bit like there's still a bit you got to deal with gain and all that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, of course. There's always that
and,
fine
and
tuning.
angle
though,
you
isn't it?
put the
Yeah.
thing in the water, the transducer.
But
and
it
that.
beats chucking a spear.
Yeah. Well, then they say they're talking about. I don't know if this is of just a bullshit take if they're going to ban it or not.
Oh, really? I haven't
Talking
heard that.
about banning it, yeah. But I think it might have been just like someone just stirring the pot.
The thing I like about everyone that's getting into the fishing now and all that sort of stuff, catch and release has become a
Yeah,
real thing now.
It's everything.
Everyone is doing it. You know what I mean?
And you sort of
and
seen like a flog if you take them, if you neck
a
them.
little bit. Yeah.
Goes out to you, Danny Alcock. He necks everything that lad, eh? Well, 1.2.
The ocean rapist. We're going to send Sea Shepherd after you.
Don't bring Shamu around here.
That's exactly right. He'll eat Shamu too. Even the dolphins aren't safe.
Yeah, so we did that and we ended up getting 10 barra.
Oh,
Just
did
doing
you?
that, yeah, just flicking. I went and got some. I was going to make a video. Went down and got some. Took me family down to the creek down here. It's actually a really nice little drive and we put the prawn traps in the creek and we got only 4 or 5 prawns out of it. Then took them up the river and threw them at a snag and within 5 minutes we had 3 barra in the boat.
Far out. Are you for real?
Mm.
That's awesome.
And then they were all gone. So then we just flicked lures and they just
And just kept getting them.
yeah. Because once you turn them on, it's like.
Yeah, they do. They do
Yeah.
get a bit of feeding frenzy, don't they?
So
Yeah.
that's the best thing is you throw your prawns in first, turn them on, and then just flick lures. And
Activity
you catch the rest of 'em.
attracts activity, doesn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah, it's only got like 10 barra, yeah.
And you kept 11 of them?
No, Danny came in, necked 12 of them. No, they're all undersized actually. They're all around the 50 and 40 and stuff. They're only little rats, but fun.
Yeah.
Had a bit of fun.
And they taste good at that size.
Especially when you bleed them properly.
Pan size. Pan size.
Pan optics. Yeah, so the live scope was good.
Yeah?
And we might even get, we're going to have a chat with Scotty
Oh, yes.
from Ocean Logics.
Yep.
If you want to check them out. And he's
Because
going
he's
to
the
come
man
on.
with all that sort of stuff.
He's the
isn't
Garmin man.
he? He is the Garmin man.
And so if you want locally, if you can, I think you can get some Garmin stuff from Joel and the team at fucking
Coastal
Coast
Marine.
Marine. But if you're in the Brisbane area or like online,
Sunny Coast, all that sort of stuff.
Ocean Logics, check them out.
Yeah. He knows his stuff, eh?
Yeah, tell Scotty we sent you, and he's going to come on, I reckon, in the next few weeks, and he's going to give us a Garmin tip every week.
Bit of a tech tip.
Oh, he does TED Talks and everything. So,
Does he?
Yeah.
There's so much in the new sounders now. Like
too
the average,
much.
I mean, you look at the sounders that we've got, we wouldn't use 80% of it.
Yeah. Well, I rang him up on, I rang him up on Sunday, and he goes, "Oh, I was just got off the phone to your fucking brother."
More glitches.
And he goes, "Is an Alcock day?" I said, "Yeah, mate." And I said, "I just want to know this, and this."
Yep. Because there is, you can go absolutely nuts in them.
Yeah.
Like it just, and I'm literally still diving over the side to look at rocks instead
Yeah.
of using the sounder properly.
But the same thing is they're all the same. They just have too much going on most of the time.
Oh yeah,
And they're not like your phone. They're just a long way of getting around to hook like your Wi-Fi up and all that. Everything's just like 10 times as hard.
it's just a new step every time.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, you got to make sure this is off and make sure your phone's on fucking
Yep.
no data or like just a lot of crap.
Yeah, I know.
And it just takes one little thing not to work.
And you've got to make sure that your transducer is on exactly the right angle.
Like the right angle cabinets.
Right angle cabinets.
You need to see Mark and the crew
Because they know what to do.
servicing all the cans,
And the rest of NQ.
located in Gordon Vale.
North Innisfail.
The cabinet's off the rail.
Their prices are on sale.
Yeah, that too. If you want a bitchin' kitchen,
George's Flex with a desk.
go see Mark and the team.
And they will actually sort the rest.
They will.
They
so
will.
they made this table right here that was
They
sitting
did.
around.
They did. I'm
And
gonna
this
cut-
is actually one piece. I don't know if you won't be able to see the whole table, but he made this table out of one piece. He's going to move around. Look at this, one piece. Don't show all the mess.
You could literally have an orgy on the top of this table.
Yeah.
It's that big.
Yeah,
and he's done a
passion
couple
fruit,
of done a
passion
couple
fruit
of kitchens.
and
that-
orange orchard.
that is actually my favourite
They
flavour
were.
of juice.
They were nice.
They were so good, weren't they?
I reckon they were so unhealthy.
Oh yeah, there was.
still
A,
around.
You
it
could taste the
was.
sugar in it.
Still around
It would have
here
been
and there.
like 33% orange, 33% passion fruit, 33% sugar.
But the other thing was, but they tasted way better before the bottle got clear. Remember they used to have the
Mm.
bottle that was like a milk
Yes.
bottle colour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always tasted way better before they went to clear bottle.
I do like now though the nudie juice. Nudie juice is pretty
Yeah,
good.
I've never tasted yours.
Turtle Cove.
Turtle Cove juice.
Turtle Cove. All right, I've got a great Turtle Cove story for you. Here we go.
I got
here
one
we go.
too.
For the uninitiated that don't live in far north Queensland, Turtle Cove is a restaurant, a resort, a restaurant. It is
Restaurant for you.
sausage on the menu. Yeah. So it's a resort up the coast on the way to Port Douglas.
I don't know. I think it might have just sold. It might be back to a heterosexual place now. Too.
We should go and find out.
Yeah,
It was for discerning gentlemen. Oh, and ladies too. It was yeah. So
it was for people that were really happy.
yeah.
Yay!
Yay. So back when I was about I reckon 16 or 17, me and my buddies had a spot that we used to fish just up the coast from there. And it was a really good fishing spot. We used to catch cobia there and spotty mackerel and all sorts of stuff. So because we were young, didn't have our licenses and all that sort of stuff, we used to get our folks to drop us up there. And then you think about this now, 16 years old, would you drop your 16-year-old just off up onto some rocks, just past where that young lady got chopped up a few years back, and just leave them on the side of the rocks for 3 or 4 days just to go fishing? That's what we used to do when we were 15, 16, 17 years old. So anyway, we got up there, and being young and trying to channel our inner Luke from Outdoor Boys, did we need to take much? No. One pissy little tarp wasn't even big enough to cover one of us, let alone 3 of us. One of my mates was smart enough to bring an inflatable mattress. Thank Christ, because the rest of us bought absolutely nothing. A few tins of baked beans, because we were adamant that we were going to catch fish. And we were just going to cook it on the rocks.
And sleep
that's
inside
it.
them.
And that's how we were going to get down. We were going to weave hammocks and it was all going to be honky-dory. And it wasn't. It was rough as guts. And it rained non-stop for the first night. It was atrocious. But we didn't have mobiles back then, obviously. And even if you did, there was no way you were going to get reception up on there. So after the first night, we decided that, that was it. And then we paper, scissored, rock to see who was going to walk the 2.5 clicks back up the road to Turtle Cove Resort to see if we could use their phone to call our folks to come and get us. So anyway, me and my mate Andy, we lost the bet. My mate Bo, he stayed back at the beach. And me and Andy are walking. And the worst part was, when you're that age, you're just dumb. You're ignorant. Do you know what I mean? We were positive.
So you walked in holding hands.
Well, the worst part was, as we got closer, and a 2.5K walk takes a bit, you know what I mean? It takes you 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it was. the anxiety was just getting worse and worse and worse as we're getting towards this place. Do you know what I mean?
You knew it was a gay place?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. So we are, by the time we get to the gate at this place, we are convinced that we're just, as soon as we step foot past the gate,
gonna get
we're
fingered.
just going to get dick. And we are beside ourselves with panic. Like, we are just and you got to stop at the gate. It's so completely immature. And we're stopping at the gate like, you go first, bro. No, you go first. No, you go first.
Walk in, covering your mouth and your bum.
It was idiotic, but you're young. You don't know any better. And we got in there. Dude behind the counter was about 6'4", dude, shaved head, bald dude, spoke beautifully. He was lovely. Let us use the phone, all that sort
Had a
of
great
thing.
lisp.
Yeah, literally. Like, you know what I mean? So we got in there, made the quickest phone call ever known to man. I don't think we even said why we needed to be picked up. It was just like, come and get us!
Help!
And then out the door and just, limped all the way back to
Because you found out how nice that 6'4" lad was.
The ignorance of youth. The ignorance of youth.
Oh, mine wasn't that bad, but we got we used to have I think I might have said it on here ages, a few things back in the local Innisfail Advocate years ago. They used to have, you could put in send in pictures of your catch.
Oh, yeah,
Like when you go to the reef.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. They did that up in Cairns too.
They put one up, my mate Luke Pancini, if you're listening. His mates put it in there. Luke, he's holding this big red emperor.
Yeah.
And it said, Luke Pancini caught this on a recent holiday up at Turtle Cove. His mate sent it in straight.
It was like the butt of everybody's jokes.
Yeah.
What, get it? Butt of everyone's jokes. Crickets? No, crickets. How come he
press
gets
the
crickets
button.
and I don't get crickets? Because my jokes are funny. That's why.
You can't press it now, it's too
Yeah,
late.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
then,
no,
and then
there's no comedic
here's the
timing.
funniest part of all. As I got older, I worked out because one of my mates he was a gay dude and he was like the best wingman ever. And the gay bars, because that's where all the banging hot chicks went to hide from flogs like me. But then I worked it out and I went there too. Genius. Absolute genius.
And you got banged by the blokes.
Yeah, I did. All right, on that note, now that we've talked about banging blokes enough.
What else have I got here?
I don't know. Do you have anything else there?
Oh, yeah, so I
stopped looking.
said something about Netflix before.
Oh, yeah, we never even got there.
We talked about your
Friggin'
mate.
rabbit
remember?
holes. Yeah, what have you
So
watched?
if
What
you
have
want to watch something that's along my lines of my sense of humour in like dark thoughts,
Yeah.
Tom Segura's got a new series
Oh,
out
has he?
on Netflix.
He's pretty good, actually.
And it's just pretty much he just does little short, probably 10-minute like snippets of just. There's one, I won't go right into it, but there's one where he's an assassin, and he pretty much you have to watch it.
You would.
He
You would,
just-
because he'd be
he-
the worst
He,
assassin
he acts
in the
like
world.
he acts like the proper assassin and takes the lady and takes her to bed the night before, and then he's like, yeah, and then when he's about to shoot this fellow, he's like, no women and children. And he's like, yes, and that's my motto, and all that. And just as he's about to shoot, yeah, you'll have to watch it. It's pretty fucking funny. And what happens after that? It's a fucking laugh.
Have you seen it?
No, but you have to. You just think how dark I am.
Yeah, I can
It's-
picture it.
So he went all Israel on the women and children.
It's pretty funny. I don't want to wreck it on you, so yeah, just watch it.
Done. I'll
But
have to
I
check
have
it
to
out.
watch more of it because I only end up watching 3, and then Kate come home with the kids, and she's like, "You can't watch this in
No,
front of
you
the
need to
kids."
turn
So
that
don't
off.
watch in front of the kids, all right?
Yeah. It's similar to you porn.
Damn.
What else you got? Anything?
No.
To mine?
Yeah. No, I don't
Nah,
have. Do you
not
have
really.
a cunt of the week? I was just going to blame that chick at Mobile for the cunt of the week.
No, I don't really have a cunt of the
That's
week.
about it.
Nah, I've had a pretty cruisy week. For
Mm.
the yeah, no,
Yeah, no.
got everything.
All right.
I need to sleep. Haven't been asleep yet today.
That's all right.
Did 5 hours of mowing. Eyeballs are hanging out of my head. I'm
Yeah, I
probably
thought
not
you should
even
be
going to
on
have.
the medication.
No, I haven't. I need to get on the medication. All right, that's it. I'm
All
done.
right.
We're out of here. Beautiful people, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be back next week and talk more rubbish.
Yeah, so we might come with some better stuff next week.
Mean-
Sorry everyone, and welcome to all the new listeners. And sorry.
Yeah, shout out. Apologise. Things got a bit out of hand tonight.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Right, see you,
sorry.
Q.
Laters.